Good morning, everyone. So good morning. It's absolutely wonderful to have you all here. My name is Bridget Long, and I'm very, very proud to be the Dean of the Harvard Graduate School of Education. So on behalf of the faculty and staff, I am thrilled to welcome you yet again to Hgse. Though you have already been a part of this community for several months, and most of you have been spending the last several weeks completing your foundations courses on campus, there is still special excitement on this day as we kick off orientation week. And around the university, this time marks a full welcoming back to all of our students and faculty, and the excitement is palpable as you make connections with the incredible people who will make this an absolutely outstanding year. Now, before we begin this important event, I'd like to acknowledge that Harvard University is located on the traditional and ancestral land of the Massachusetts, the original inhabitants of what is now known as Boston and Cambridge. We pay respect to the people of the Massachusetts tribe, past and present, and honor the land itself, which remains sacred to the Massachusetts people. The Hgse community spans the globe, and additionally, we acknowledge that beyond Cambridge, many of our homes, schools, and places of work are likewise on ancestral lands of indigenous peoples. I also recognize the enslaved individuals who helped to build Harvard University and others around the country, understanding the role they played in creating and funding educational institutions that were not intended to serve them and did not regard their human dignity. Acknowledging our history is an important step in combating the erasure of the essential contributions, sacrifices, and stories of those before us. It is a step towards ensuring a culture of awareness, respect, and accountability within our own community. Now, during this week of orientation, my colleagues and I will introduce you to numerous resources that will help you thrive at Hgse and help you feel comfortable enough to fully engage in all that this place has to offer. As a member of this community now for over 2 decades, I can attest to the wonderful people you will encounter, get to know, and learn from during your time here. Joining me on the stage are individuals who are committed to your success. They are among the many people who will support you, and I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge them. First, we have Marty West, the Academic Dean, and Henry Lee Shattuck, Professor of Education. Next, we have Hgse Coppett, the Director of Master Studies. Then Clara Lau, Director for Doctoral Studies. And Kevin Bohm, Director of Student Affairs. Also on the stage are several faculty members who will give you a taste of the wide variety of transformative work that is happening right here at Hgse. Ebony Bridwell Mitchell, Tim McCarthy, Andrew Ho, Sarah Dryden Peterson, and Irvin Scott. So thank you so much for being a part of the ceremony this morning. You'll hear from them in just a little bit. Well, first, though, for my remarks, I'd like to start by introducing you to one another. Today, we are welcoming 752 students. 613 of you are entering the residential master's program, 89 the online master's program, and I hope you are joining us from far away online. 25 are entering the PhD program, and 25 are entering the EDLD program. You guys are always a rowdy bunch. Keep it up, keep it up. In the audience today are students from across the United States and around the world. We have 51 countries of citizenship represented here, with students from China, anyone? Nigeria, Poland, one person, Egypt, India, Nicaragua, and Kazakhstan, among many, many other countries. So among you are teachers, researchers, policymakers, leaders, activists, public servants, artists, innovators, and dreamers. Some of you are preparing for a first career and have always known that you wanted to be in the field of education. Others have come from different fields and look forward to transitioning into the field. Still, others of you have long been in education, and you seek this time to reflect on your practice and learn more about the context and conditions in which you work. You bring to Hgse an astonishing array of experiences, perspectives, and accomplishments. But no matter where you're from and what you've joined us to do, we are delighted to have you here. Now, as you begin this year, I'd like to take a moment to share a couple of things with you and offer a few words of advice. The first thing to know is you belong here. Let me say that again. You belong here. Now, make no mistake, you are an impressive group, but some of you may be secretly asking yourselves, was I an admissions mistake? The answer is a firm, absolutely firm no, but it's perfectly understandable to be a bit intimidated by this place and the amazing people around you. I know that's how I felt when I started as a graduate student at Harvard many years ago. Let's not talk about how long ago, but I definitely remember the feeling. First, though, I want you to take a moment, and I'd like to acknowledge the fact something major has already happened. Many of you have just completed your foundations courses. You've already successfully taken your first step, so congratulations. Now, for some of you, it's been quite a while since you've been on the student side of a classroom, and I know the last few weeks have been intense for many, including the faculty. I have a couple up here who might agree with me. Still recognize you're already making progress, and we are all anxious to see you continue your journey this fall. And to the doctoral students, I know that summer has also been a time of connecting with your new peers, taking time to prepare, and starting to get involved. And after meeting you all last week, I know that you are going to hit the ground running. The slideshow at the beginning of this event is just a small testament to all you've already done, and your journey is just beginning. So regardless of your path here, let me emphasize what I said to you before. You belong here. Yes, there's overwhelming evidence of just how smart you are, but we wanted you really for your work ethic, your imagination, and your potential. Most importantly, we wanted your passion for improving education, whether that is inside or outside of the classroom, in nonprofits or in government, in early childhood centers or college student success offices, in urban, suburban, or rural contexts, in the US or abroad. At Hgse, we are united by a common purpose. You belong here because you want to improve the world through education. And you are now part of an amazing community of people who want to do the same. And this brings me to the second point. The person sitting next to you belongs here too. Like you, they've earned this opportunity, so take a look around you. Just to give you a sense of this year's fascinating, caring, talented, and entrepreneurial class, we have students who have received a wide variety of awards, including the National After School Association Award and the Georgia Teacher of the Year Award. Anybody want to claim? We have people who have helped students achieve high academic growth as principals and district leaders in schools in Mississippi, Michigan, Colorado, and Rhode Island, among others. And we have someone who created the first ever digital school in Hgse, Brazil. Nicely done. You have someone who worked as a researcher for the US Olympic and Paralympic Committee, while someone else founded an organization in Bolivia that works with the penitentiary system and children's hospitals to provide educational opportunities to those with little access. Pretty impressive. And then there's another person who led an effort to restore health care coverage to 176,000 uninsured children in Texas. It keeps going and going and going. Your cohort includes someone who worked for UNICEF Nepal, and there's a person who led the charter school office in the New York City Department of Education. And let us not forget the person who is a master teaching artist with a dance theater, and the professional chef who hopes to revolutionize how we understand food through mass education and policy reform. Nice, I think we could all use that. And then finally, there is someone who served as a technical director and character artist for DreamWorks, Disney, and Pixar. My children, thank you. So as you can see, you are surrounded by a talented set of peers, and together you make a wonderfully diverse cohort in terms of your experiences, backgrounds, and identities, as well as in your perspectives and intended contributions in education. I hope you have already started to get to know each other here. Your colleagues will sharpen your viewpoints, support you during the hard times, and help expose you to a wealth of ideas. Now, with what I just shared, I hope you will be comforted that you are in the right place with an outstanding set of peers. So what should you do with your time at Hgse? Let me briefly share just a few words of advice. First, let's take a moment to consider where we are, not in terms of place, but in terms of time. The pandemic is not far behind us, and the effects and repercussions of the last 3 years are on full display, from evidence of growing inequities, concerns about mental health, and teacher shortages around the country. For many of us, we have long worked in education, and the gaps and inequality we are seeing are not new, but the last 3 years brought new light to stark realities faced in our school systems. As Professor Paul Reville, the former Massachusetts Secretary of Education, wrote, "It's as though a big wave has pulled back the sea, revealing the ocean floor in all its disturbing realities that heretofore been hidden beneath the surface of the water." Know that what we do as educators is essential, and I mean the word educators in the broadest sense possible. Whether you plan to be inside or outside of schools, with our youngest learners or adults, in the US or somewhere else globally. We represent the entire ecosystem of education, and together, that is an impressive force for good. The contributions we can make as individuals, and more importantly, as a community, are considerable and have never been needed more. So as we look ahead, there is a great deal of work that we need to do for the world. Let us never lose sight of that. Let us also not forget the lessons learned from the past several years. You weathered the storm of ever-changing health protocols and unexpected resurgences and new variants that required us all to continually adapt our practices and policies, along with the ordinary ways we connected with each other. What do we take away from those experiences? I would suggest that the first thing we learned is that resilience is a muscle. It's something you cultivate and grow through the trials and tribulations of your life. And I cannot say that the turmoil is over. It certainly won't be for many. Even as we return to our pre-pandemic traditions and norms, realize that the heightened sense of vulnerability and the uncertainty that you have felt over the last several years will continue for many we seek to support, including children and families who are locked in poverty. More than 4 in 10 children live in a household struggling to meet basic expenses. Worldwide, the numbers are even higher, with 1 out of 5 children living in extreme poverty. These students and their families are carrying an extra burden as they face the multiple ways in which poverty causes harm, from food insecurity to lack of health care to threats to safety and stability. I hope we all have a new awareness and compassion for the stress, the strain, and the uncertainty that dominates the lives of far too many. So no, this is still very much a difficult time, and that's exactly why we need to dive deep into the work. While you are here, be prepared to confront hard truths and difficult topics. Be prepared to be in dialogue with people who will disagree with you. Be prepared to make mistakes and to confront your own personal weaknesses. This field of education is not for the faint at heart. And you're not only here to learn, you're here to build the strength the world needs from us as educators, and we are going to help you do that. Now, my final piece of advice is to remember why you came. I hope you all came here to gain skills and knowledge so that you can make contributions to others. Many of you are motivated by the promise of what education could be and the unfortunate reality of what it actually is for too many students. There are gaps in opportunity and success at all levels, from access to high-quality early child care education, to segregation and insufficient rigor and supports in K-12 classrooms, to uneven access, low graduation rates, and looming debt in higher education, although I hope for some of you the debt isn't quite as much as it used to be a week ago. In past years, I've told new cohorts of students to remember who isn't here, and I implore you to do the same. You didn't come to Hgse just to get an education for yourself, but to improve the lives of those who can't be here. I'm sure you think of people in the communities from which you came who are depending on you and depending on what you will learn and how you will grow in ways that will benefit us all. This year, you are being exposed to a wealth of new information, ideas, and perspectives, but don't lose your sense of why you came. Look back at the narrative you wrote in your application and the list of skills and experiences you hope to grow while here. Think back to what prompted you to first consider furthering your education, and don't get lost in the commotion and the frenzy of what is sure to be a very hectic year. In essence, keep your eyes on the prize. You came here with purpose. You are building on expertise you already have and a sense of impact you want to have, so honor that. So I want to close by again recognizing this really special time and beginning. Remember, you belong, and cherish what you will learn with and from those who are sitting next to you. Also be sure to remember your purpose for coming here and the importance of the work we do. Use this time to empower yourselves and your colleagues to do good in the world, whether that be through practice, research, policy, entrepreneurship, or some other kind of service. And with courageous hearts and open minds, let's start this adventure together.